Hi, I'm Carla Schaefer, Auntie Beads designer, and I'm going to demonstrate the use of wire guardians. I'm going to go over the list of supplies needed for this project. Obviously, you will need wire guardians, and we sell these in a silver plate, a gold plate, and a sterling silver. And we're going to be using two, because I'm just using a single-stranded bracelet. I'm also going to be using a check glass and a seed bead and 4 or 5 millimeter round sterling silver beads. And I'm going to be using a simple sterling toggle. And you will also need 2 crimp beads, and beading wire, I'm using a 49 strand .018. For tools, you'll need a nipper tool, and I will be using the magical crimp forming tool, and you may or may not need a pair of round nose or chain nose pliers. The first thing you're going to do is determine the length of your bracelet and add 4 inches and cut your wire to that length. And then the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and crimp one end to the toggle, and I'm going to drop on my crimp bead, and then I'm going to string my wire guardian. And what it has here has a little hole or a little channel, and then it's open right here so that the wire just slips over the top of it and back through the other hole here. Till it comes out the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull it through here. I'm going to go ahead and bring my crimp bead down until we get it on the toggle. So now, this is why I said you may or may not want to use a pair of pliers. And you may want to use it just to kind of hold the guardian as you slip the toggle on. So all I'm going to do is just take the toggle and slip wire guardian on, like that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the wire through a little bit, and then we're going to string the crimp bead over both wires. And what the wire guardian does is it protects this wire right in here in the toggle, where a lot of time you get a lot of wear and tear on your pieces because of the wire rubbing constantly. And what this does is it protects the wire, and therefore your pieces will last longer, and it does have a nice clean look to it. So then all I'm going to do is just crimp this crimp bead like we would any other crimp, and I'm using the magical crimp forming tool. And see, this is what we have. I just did a basic design in this bracelet, and I'm going to string the last few beads on, and we'll give you a close-up of the pattern. The main idea was for me to show you how to use the wire guardians. And so to finish the bracelet, I'm simply going to string my crimp bead on, and then I'm going to string half of the wire guardian, and again it has this little channel, and then it has the open space. And all you do is you bring it back through the other side. And it doesn't matter how tight you pull this at this point. And then I'm going to slip on the other half of the toggle. Sometimes just give a little push in there. There you go. And then I'm going to tighten the wire to the bracelet and string it through the crimp bead and back through a couple of beads. And then tighten the wire. Make sure your bracelet is flexible. And then again, you just crimp with your magical crimp forming tool. And if this just going to give it a little more tug to get it. There we go. And then you've completed your bracelet. All you gotta do is nip this wire and be done.